Now, interviewing with a hiring manager and interviewing with a recruiter are two very different things. They're looking for different things, their understanding of the role is different, and in order to succeed with each, you need to understand what it is they're hoping to hear when you interview them. In today's video, I'm gonna give you 5 things that all recruiters are hoping to hear, they're looking for, so that the next time you're in an interview with a recruiter, you know exactly what to do to win. Let's go. Hi everybody, my name is Ben White with Ben Talks Talent. I've got 12 years experience in interviewing, hiring, and recruiting, and I'm passionate about using my experience to help you become the best candidate possible and land your next job. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about things recruiters look for. I've been a recruiter for 12 years, I still work in the industry, and I've looked at tens of thousands of resumes and I've interviewed tens of thousands of candidates. And we're all looking for the same things. And in today's video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what those things are. But before we get into the main content of the video, if you are new here, take 3 seconds, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you never miss one of my 3 free weekly videos that are all designed to help you. And if you are not new, hey, welcome back. It is great to see you. How was your weekend? All right, with that being said, let's get into the video. Now, first and foremost, why does this matter? And it's for the simple reason that recruiters are gatekeepers, right? They are the people who have access to the resumes who are coming in, resumes that are sent to them before they ever get to the hiring manager. In most circumstances, the recruiter sees it first. So that's really important because they're going to be the one who decides whether you are qualified or not if the hiring manager ever even sees your resume. So first and foremost, that's why it's important. Now you have to remember, most recruiters aren't technical by nature. So if you're in a technical profession, or even a semi-non-technical profession, a recruiter's gonna see your resume, they're gonna see your LinkedIn profile, and they might not necessarily, just by looking at it, know if you are qualified for this role, not qualified, qualified for an adjacent role. That's something you have to remember. Maybe you're a software engineer, and maybe you're looking at your resume and going, this is the perfect resume for a software engineer. Well, not all recruiters might have that same thought. So when you're talking about speaking with them and interviewing with them, you need to view it through the lens of what it is they do and don't understand, because again, they are gatekeepers. Being qualified in the role isn't always enough to get you to the hiring manager. So I want you to start thinking about it in terms of how do you convey your fit to the recruiter. Now to that end, how can you do that? How can you show them, maybe someone who is not technical, that you are a technical fit? First things first, know the job description. If you know the job description, if you know the required tasks, the must-haves, the nice-to-haves, what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis, it's easy for you to internalize that, compare it to what you have, and then tell that to the recruiter. So, they're looking at a job description differently than you're looking at the job description. You might be looking for, what are the coding languages? What's the product? They're looking at it in terms of must-haves. Must have bachelor's degree in computer science. Must have 5 years experience in blank, right? So when you're looking at that and you're talking to them about why you were qualified, make sure you think about it in terms of the bullet points. Like, Ben, yes, I'm interviewing for this role. I do have a bachelor's degree in computer science. I do have 7 years experience. I saw the job description required 5. Bullet point 3, I've been doing that for blank amount of time. You need to think about it in terms of what they are going to understand, because if you talk about it at a very high level with language they don't understand, they might miss that you're actually qualified. So first things first, I want you to think about examples that align with the job description, specifically the must-haves for the role. Now, while they may not have the best grasp of the technical parts of it, what they do understand is culture. Company culture. So no matter what role you were applying for, just know that the recruiter, while they may not grasp all the nuanced details of the role, they do understand about what makes somebody a good fit for their culture, for their team, for the company, and specifically the hiring manager's team. So if you're going to be interviewing for a role, don't think about it as if I am qualified, I am skilled. Also think about the organization. Think about their history, their background, their products, their services, and their company values. Make sure you go to the About Us page and know about that. Because while some of the technical requirements might be lost in translation, they might not fully understand, they will absolutely understand if you lay it out clearly that you meet the must-haves, and then you also check the box that yes, you are a good cultural fit. You share good value alignment, and you would be a good fit for the team. So make sure you don't overlook that in your quest to land a job. Now, I mentioned this before, but make sure you have a strong baseline understanding of the company, its history, and what they do. I remember as a corporate recruiter, one of the first questions I would ask is, what do you know about our company? And this is a question that is very common among recruiters. And why? Why is it common? You might be thinking to yourself at home while you're watching this, well, Ben, that's a stupid question. I applied, so obviously I'm interested. What does it matter what I know? Well, the fact of the matter is recruiters ask this question. And if you don't know, they assumed you're just applying to a million places, you're not well researched, and you're not specifically interested in their opportunity. Every hiring manager, every recruiter, every HR person wants to believe you are interested in their role. So you need to help them arrive at that point that you are in fact interested in their role. So make sure you're at least doing cursory research on the company so you'd be prepared to answer a question like, what do you know about our company? Now, one of the things all good recruiters will look for in a candidate is the achiever pattern. What is the achiever pattern, Ben? I'm glad you asked. So achiever patterns are different signals that a person is a high achiever, right? So some of the examples of this might be they were promoted a couple times in a previous role. They started as a junior developer, then went to developer, then went to developer 2. Feel free to swap out titles with titles that are applicable to you, or you look and you see their GPA, they were on the honor roll or the dean's list, or you look and you see they served in extracurricular activities, like they were on the school's newspaper, or they were a vice president of student council for their college, or whatever it is. Little things like that, extracurriculars above and beyond, those are signifiers of a person being an achiever. So whenever they're looking for the achiever pattern on a resume, you want to make sure you make that clear. I've talked to people and they only leave their current role on their resume. But when you're talking to them, you find out they actually had 3 roles at the organization, but they've been promoted twice. You do yourself no favors if you leave that off. You want to leave that on so you allow that recruiter to see that you are in fact an achiever and you're growing within your organization. And any of those extra bells and whistles, things you've done for your company, volunteering, the different above and beyond things that demonstrate that you're an achiever, you want to make sure those are very clear, visible on both your resume and on your LinkedIn profile. Now, the last thing you want to do is going to seem stupid, but stick with me because it's not. And that's make sure you share easy to share examples with a recruiter so they can verbatim say that to the hiring manager. So let's just say you're in quality engineering and you could say to the recruiter, I had a project last year. What I was specifically doing was I was eliminating downtime by optimizing our processes. And over the course of 18 months, I was able to eliminate this downtime, and it saved my company $300,000, over that period. So think of an example like that, but worded better and one that applies to you. Why is that powerful? Because the recruiter will literally, while they're talking to you, be typing that down. And then they will say that specifically to the hiring manager. So think about it. Think about if it's you and one other candidate, and you give a couple examples like that are easy to write down, easy to work through mentally, easy to convey to somebody else, to the hiring manager, and then there's another candidate who does none of that. They just say, yes, I meet the requirements. Well, what's the story? What's the story the recruiter's gonna tell? They're gonna say, hey, I've got 2 candidates, they're both qualified, but let me tell you about the cool things candidate A did. They shared this example, and this example, and this example. You wanna be that candidate. So one of the things that all recruiters look for are easy to share examples that for them are easy to convey directly to the hiring managers. That's going to show them this is why candidate A is someone you should absolutely consider. So there you go. Those are 5 things that all recruiters look for. These aren't some of the obvious ones. I'm sure we can all imagine some of the obvious ones: job stability, high GPA, influence, etc. But these are some of the ones that universally just about all recruiters look for. Well, there you go. That's everything. Good luck in your next interview. You got this.